welcome. This is Impact Asia with the stories that matter from across the globe. I'm Michelle Hussein. In today's program, we look at President Obama's budget challenge. He plans to spend almost $4 trillion, but also has to save to tackle the record-breaking US deficit. One casualty is likely to be NASA's project for a base on the moon. Does that mean that the next man on the moon will be Chinese or Indian? Israel admits it did fire white phosphorus shells towards a UN compound in Gaza last year. 2 senior army officers are disciplined. And how much difference does a year make? Thailand's finance minister is with us live from Bangkok, a year since he last told me of Thailand's economic challenge. Our Impact Asia headlines. Welcome. We're now just a couple of hours away from learning of President Obama's plans in setting the United States budget, particularly how he'll balance the need to encourage economic growth with the need to tackle a massive budget deficit. It's thought that he'll try to save $250 billion. The deficit as a whole, though, is now close to $1.5 trillion. Here's the analysis from Jonathan Beale. So, as you heard, one of the programs likely to lose funding is NASA's project to build a base on the moon. We'll be exploring that with expert Dr. Andrew Coates in a moment. But first, here's Geeta with more top stories.
Michelle, thanks very much. A female suicide bomber has struck in northeast Baghdad, killing 41 people and wounding more than 100 others. The bomb went off in a refreshment tent for Shiite pilgrims on their way to Karbala to celebrate the religious rite of Arbin. Egypt have been crowned the champions of African football for a 7th time. Hundreds of thousands of football fans flooded onto the streets of Cairo to celebrate their victory in the final of the African Cup of Nations. They beat Ghana in the final by 1-0.
Geeta, thank you. Just one further note on Haiti. We'll be hearing from there in a moment because our team has been speaking to the Prime Minister of Haiti, and we'll have that report for you shortly. Now, though, more on President Obama's budget plans, because with me is Jonathan Beale, whose report you heard a moment ago and who, until very recently, was one of our Washington correspondents. All familiar territory for you, Jonathan. I mean, the numbers we're talking about are just staggering here. The budget deficit over $1 trillion?
Yes, and the real problem is that after this budget, even though he's made cuts, it will still be a deficit of over $1 trillion. This budget is going to cost $3 trillion more than. The last budget cost more than $3 trillion. So there's no danger that Barack Obama is going to appear like a miser here. He's still going to have that perception that he's spending a lot of money.
One of our team in Haiti. There's lots more about Haiti on our website, including more on the other story emerging from there, the Baptist missionaries who've been arrested while they were allegedly trying to take children out of the country. Do have a look at bbc.com/news if you can. And also you can get in touch with me and the Impact Asia team on Twitter. Just follow at Michelle Hussein BBC. And you can also see what we're working on via our Facebook page. That's at facebook.com/BBC World News. Do join us there if you can. Now, I'll have the Impact Asia headlines coming up in just a moment. Also, this was the Thai finance minister speaking to me a year ago when he was just days into the job. So how much progress has the Thai economy made in these last 12 months? Our newsmaker interview is with Korn Chatakavani live from Bangkok in a moment. Welcome back. This is Impact Asia with me, Michelle Hussein. Our top stories. President Obama is set to announce his plans for next year's budget. He's expected to pledge more investment in job creation, but cuts in some areas to try to balance the deficit. And the Israeli army says it's disciplined 2 officers in connection with an incident during the Gaza conflict last year when a UN warehouse was set on fire by Israeli artillery shells. Top sports stories now with Adnan. I think congratulations are in order for Egypt, Adnan?
Yes, absolutely. All of Egypt is celebrating, and their coach, Hassan Shahata, says the current Egyptian team is the best African team that's ever played the game. And who could argue they're not going to this year's World Cup finals? In fact, the Pharaohs have admitted that they used that failure as motivation for their successful campaign at the Africa Cup of Nations. It all ended on Sunday in the Angolan capital, Luanda. Egypt beating Ghana 1-0, winning the trophy for a record 3rd time in a row. That's it. Sorry about the voice, Michelle.
You can go off and rest it now. It's allowed. Thanks, Adnan Nawaz there. And that's it for today from me and the Impact Asia team. On the day that President Obama will unveil the United States budget, it is a difficult balancing act for him. He is grappling with a record-breaking budget deficit, which currently stands at well over $1 trillion. Do join us at the same time tomorrow if you can. We'll have the news of the Oscar nominations. We'll be discussing the films that are nominated for Oscars on tomorrow's programme. And if you can, do sign up to follow us on Twitter at Michelle Hussain BBC is how to do that. For now, from me and the Impact Asia team, until tomorrow, goodbye.